Let me start with something simple. If you're capable, disciplined, and you've done most things right, but still feel strangely unclear about your direction, that's not random. And it's probably not a personal failure either. It's a structural issue. And that's what I want to unpack. Most of us grew up with a very clean formula: study hard, get good grades, pick the right degree, work hard, stay consistent, and clarity will follow. The assumption was simple. If you do the inputs correctly, the outputs will feel obvious. But a lot of smart, ambitious people today experience something different. On paper, things look fine. Career reasonable, income stable, progress visible. But internally, there's this quiet friction. Not burnout, not panic, just this question: why doesn't this feel clearer than it should? I have felt this from multiple angles: engineering, consulting, building a startup. Each of those paths promised structure. Each one looked like clear trajectory, and yet clarity never arrived in a way I expected. That gap between effort and orientation is something I kept running into. So I started looking at the system instead of blaming myself. Here's the core shift. The world changed faster than the mental maps we were given. Most of our ideas about success were built for a world with fewer choices, slower change, very clear institutions, more predictable career paths. If you entered a structure and performed well, the structure carried you forward. Today, that's not the environment. Now we live in infinite options, constant comparison, non-linear careers, metrics everywhere, and visibility into everyone else's progress. We were taught how to choose a path, but now we are expected to manage a portfolio of options. That's a completely different cognitive load. And if you're using an old map in a new terrain, even intelligence doesn't help. It can actually make it harder. Here's the paradox. The smarter you are, the more possibilities you can see, and the more possibilities you can see, the harder it becomes to commit to just one. Intelligence increases optionality, and optionality increases friction. You can see whether it's the startup route, corporate climb, creator economy, an MBA, multiple pivots. Whenever you think of all of those, you're aware of the trade-offs. You're aware of the opportunity cost. But awareness does not always create clarity. Sometimes it just creates hesitation. So what feels like confusion is often just very high resolution perception in a chaotic system. So how do you reframe the problem? And this part is important. Feeling lost today is not necessarily a weakness. It's a rational response to a complex environment. And we often compare ourselves to our previous generations, but we fail to realize that previous generations inherited very clear social roles. They had narrow decision trees, and they had extremely strong external guardrails. But what we inherited was a lot of freedom, but without structure, a lot of choice without hierarchy, and ambition without built-in meaning. So of course it feels unstable. We removed constraints, but we never built new internal frameworks to replace them. So this channel is about all of the above. And this channel exists for one reason: to reduce modern confusion by understanding the systems that create it. Not motivational hype, not productivity hacks, but frameworks. Very clear frameworks. Here we will talk about history, economics, identity, ambition, frameworks, guardrails, system shifts, institutional shifts, because clarity doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from using the right map. If this resonated with you, you're not alone. And you're definitely not broken. You are navigating a world that changed faster than what was mentioned in the manual. So the solution is not more discipline, it's just better orientation. I'll see you in the next one.